Okay, so I'd like to open this meeting of the Gem County Recreation District in September 18th, 4:30. So I'd like to call the meeting to order. Have you read the minutes from the previous meeting?
Yes.
Okay, what is your,
I make a motion that we accept the minutes from the previous meeting as written.
okay? I'll step down and second that. I'll step back up. Is there any discussion?
None.
Okay, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so we've got that one done. Okay, the reports. Our reports, we have the state investment pool. We have in the investment pool, we have $271,050.26. In checking, we have an ending balance of $33,231.56. Total checking and investment, we have $304,271.82. No parentheses, and the letters are black. Okay. Okay, approval to pay the monthly bills for August.
I make a motion that we pay the monthly bills in the amount of $39,831.89.
Okay, I'll step down to second that. Step back up. Is there any discussion?
I don't have any questions.
Okay, hearing none. Those in favor of paying the bills, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Okay, director's report. I have that here somewhere. Okay, what did I do with it? I know I had it. All right. All right, nothing new to report on the pool. Paint the town blue, all right.
Yay, I'm so excited.
Okay, that's homecoming week, which is September 30th through October 4th. Board members, we need one, and no one has submitted any paperwork. But we might have a write-in candidate, and we have until September 20th. Do we have to pay on the write-in fee, the $50 fee or whatever it is for a write-in? I know in the general election, if you're gonna have a write-in, you gotta pay a fee.
That might be the person
Okay,
that wasn't mentioned from the election person about how write-in works.
all righty. So we have no one in Rogers area yet either.
Correct.
So, all right. And we're gonna send out some cards. All righty. Okay, do we have any unfinished business? I didn't see any. I didn't see any in the in our minutes that we left undone. That we just approved them in. So let's move on. Do we have any new business?
So, this is probably more just to think about, you don't have to make a decision today, so you can table it today. In the effort we're making to have out-of-district fees, we currently have them on our sports, and so that's was on our radar that we know we have teams from Sweet, so we implemented that. It has come up that we do have people out of district that take our classes, so like tumbling, karate, that kind of thing. And so it made me wonder if some kind of out of district fee is warranted on some of those, or on those. So kind of the easiest thoughts would be, is it adding $2, $2-3 a month, because they pay it monthly, or is it a $10 to $20 fee at the beginning of the year that they just pay one time?
Okay, so, if a child is out of district and wants to play soccer, how do you handle it?
That one, it's per registration, so every time any kid, so it's just an added $5 fee to the sport registration. But those are one-time fee, so how we wanna navigate where they continuously pay monthly during the school year.
So if they pay the if they pay the $5 for soccer fee, then want to play volleyball, is that another $5?
Up until whatever the current rec district household fee is
For the year?
for the year. So their family. So we've got one family who, they have several kids that play several sports, so they've maxed out, yeah.
They've maxed out?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're actually paying the fee, but they're paying it through usage.
Correct. And so once they hit the current rate, then they don't have to pay it anymore for this year. And then they restart again in October, right? So fiscal year, so in October, they'll start from scratch again.
Okay.
So it's just a matter of monthly classes, a little bit different. Of course, not so cut and dry one-time fee.
But that's not extending to everybody that's using our.
No, just for the people who don't live within our districts. So it's similar to the sports. It's anyone that's not, that house isn't paying, so like a big or sweet or just matter. Or someone from Middleton wants to come over and do something. They would not be
So
able
right
to.
now, they are just paying the fee for the
For that
tumbling
one
each
school.
month. But we can add the $5 per month up to what the annual fee would be. So if they had 3 kids, that'd be $15 a month for the 3 months or whatever.
Until they got to 56.
And then it would stop, yeah.
Then it would stop. I like that idea. I like that idea, and I think it'd be fair. It would be fair to be across the board with all of our activities if they're out of district.
And so, are you comfortable setting how you want to assess, or do you guys
How-
want to think about it until?
How are you doing it now?
For classes, we're not. They're just paying
The regular fee.
because we have very few, so it just kind of.
So how much is tumbling on? Is it,
Depending, as they get older, it ranges from $16 to $24 a month.
that's a very affordable fee in comparison to what you would pay anywhere else. Same thing with like dance class or any of those, right? So the fees are very affordable.
So dance, the instructor rents the rec district and is their own thing,
Oh, okay,
so we don't have to worry about.
that's not,
But the karate, tumbling, cheer we probably wouldn't really have. And I don't think it'll affect that many. It just, like I said, when I actually took the registration, it was a sweet thing. Oh.
then we just think about, okay, do we want to think about it and come back next month, or do we want to?
Yeah, I'd like to think about it, and maybe Deborah, you can ask those people that are doing these other programs that are involved with that, without district people, what they think of the idea.
Well, they're not gonna like it.
Well, I know.
But would it be a deal breaker? Like, would it be, you know what, I'm not gonna come, it's gonna cost me $5 more a month, we're not gonna participate, that's. I don't know.
Well, I don't know if 5 a month is too little much, or, I mean, it's still overall not a lot.
I think it ought to be $5 for the activity. So if you're in tumbling, you're out of district, I think it ought to be $5, not per month, or
Just for that one,
That
for
one.
the year.
the activity. But if they have 10 kids, that are in tumbling, then that's $5, and if they meet the household fee, then they're done.
And so, yeah, so, like I said, I think it's still gonna take maybe a little bit of discussion. I just wanted to kind of bring it up to you too, to
Okay,
get it on your radar to figure out, perfect, what's the best.
So do you want to table it?
you need a motion.
Okay, yeah.
I make a motion that we table this We will think about it and have more conversation at our next meeting.
Okay, and I'll step down to second that. And then I'll step back up to, any further discussion. Okay, those in favor say aye. Aye, motion has tabled. Okay. Any items from the board? Okay, so I know we have some public input, and I think Holly is on our public input here. So, Holly, we give you the mic. Okay.
Good evening. Is this on or?
Yep.
Is it? Okay. My name is Holly Strain. I'm the Gen County Assessor, and Abra and I had spoken, and she asked me to come and speak a little bit about the property tax reduction. And so I put together a packet with you, and I'm going to go through it as quickly as possible. But it's a pretty important program, and I'm pretty sure most of you are familiar with parts of it because I've spoken to you earlier this year personally about it. So first of all, I put my card in there, so if you have any questions after this, you can reach me either by phone or by email. The first item in the packet is a brochure. This goes out to, we have it on our counter, so when people come in, they sign up for the homeowner's exemption. They've just moved to town. We oftentimes, if they're unmarried, we'll try and find out their status. If they look like they're close to 65, we'll talk about this, saying that maybe it's available in the future, trying not to hurt their feelings. And so the other item that we've got from the State Tax Commission, both of these the State Tax Commission produces, is a pamphlet on their website. This is also available. We'll mail this out if somebody has other questions, maybe just to give them the same information in a different format. As far as what our office does and what we've produced, we did for the first time this year create some flyers to put up around town. We put up over 60 of these throughout the county, all the way up to Ola and Sweet, out to Letha, the hospitals, the hospice cares. I know the rec center got at least one to put up. YCAP, restaurants, nursing homes, hair salons, anywhere where people who might benefit from this program would be and would see it. We also changed the wording a little bit from what the state puts out there because we wanted to catch people's attention. Property tax reduction doesn't necessarily scream property tax relief to people. And so we're hoping to get as many people as possible to take advantage of this. So what is the property tax reduction? And I know that's what you asked me to speak on. And so what it is in the 80s, the state came up with the notion that it's cheaper for people to age in place than it is to be a burden on society. It's way cheaper with the society resources to pay for things if they're in their own home. And so a lot of states will put a lien on homes so that the people can stay in them and the state will cover their taxes. Idaho was one of the first states where they actually pay people's taxes out of sales tax dollars. The grocery tax is one of the taxes that makes this possible. And so there's the word on the street that sales tax, I mean, we always talk about grocery tax going away, but will be, the state legislature does not intend to discontinue this program, so they're looking at different ways to fund it at this point. But it was important for people who are lower income and in a category that might be susceptible to losing their house, have a way to stay in their home or with reduced or no taxes. And so this program, it started off with a set amount, and it stayed at that set amount for quite some time, and then it increased to $1,360 in, I want to say, the late 90s. I don't have my dates, and I apologize for that. But right now, depending on the income of a person and their spouse, up to $1,320 of their taxes can be covered by this program if they qualify. And so you can see this, it's a sliding scale. So depending on a person's income, it shows what the benefit that they can receive is. This has to be on their primary house, so it cannot be on a rental. But if they do have to go into a nursing home or a long care facility and they're not renting their home out, they can still keep their home under this program and still get the taxes covered as long as they meet the other requirements. This scale changes every year. The income last year, you can see, was the $30,450. This year it's been raised to $31,280. So legislation does try to keep up somewhat with cost of living raises. Another part that Albert wanted to know was, said that you were interested in were the demographics. And so we had 632 applicants last year in all of Gem County. 588 of those live within the rec district. And so I minimized my research to the rec district people. I figured that the rest of it didn't really matter in this room. And so I've got some data out here. On the first, so the income is one of the components. The other is a status. So you have to be widowed, over 65, recognized disabled by an official source, blind, motherless or fatherless child under the age of 18. One of those, you have to, just one of those, yes. You can qualify under more than one of those. It doesn't increase your benefit, but sometimes one of those will go away. If you're widowed and you get married, then that goes away, but you still may be disabled or you may be over 65. So we try and capture as many different qualifications as possible because some of them do change. Disability changes, marriage changes. Usually being over 65 does not. We haven't seen that yet. And so, so if you see, one of the components that I brought out was the married versus single versus widowed. And the reason I brought that out was because married households, you have to include both incomes. So when you look at, there's 159 married households, their combined income is under that 31,820. And am I saying that number right? No, 280, excuse me, 31,280. So that there's more people living on less money because there's two people there. And then there's the single, which is 226 households or 38%, and then widowed. And widowed, not only is it a factor that allows you to participate in this program, but a lot of people who are widowed aren't used to living on one income. And so that can be a stretch for them. And so that's why I broke that one out. So that's that first pie chart and the numbers there. The next one is just an overall, there's 55% of the applicants qualify with just one of those statuses, and 41%, which doesn't equal 100%, which is odd. I don't know how I did that, I apologize. But more people qualify with just one status rather than two. And so I think that probably the people who qualify under more than one status are probably worse off. I hate using those negative terms, but in this case, it is, they're worse off. And so then what I did is I took that eligibility status and broke it down even further. So you can see those people who are just seniors are 233 people. That's 40% of those who apply. Those who are widowed seniors are 177. Those people disabled are 82. Disabled seniors are 45. 100% disabled VA, and I'm going to come back and talk to about that in just a moment. Those were 24 people. Just widowed are 10. Disabled widowed that are seniors was 9, and a disabled widow or widower was 8. A lot of times when someone is just widowed, we see that they don't stay on the program for long because oftentimes they're younger, and not always, of course, but oftentimes when you're younger and widowed, you do end up remarrying. And so we see them getting off, and this is more of a step to help them get back with their feet underneath them. 100% Disabled Veteran is a brand new program this year. It runs with this one, but it's actually its own program. It for anybody who is a service related, it's not that they're 100% rated, but they actually have to be 100% service related disabled. And so those people will automatically get the $1,320 off of their taxes, no matter what their income is. And we have been able to, I think of that 24, 3 people qualified for this program before. So we were able to reach 21 extra families, households by doing that this year. If you look on the back, this is the income breakdown. You can see by the chart that I gave you that there's a lot of different income brackets. And so I did not break it down. That pie would have looked like somebody didn't put enough tapioca in the blackberries. So I broke it down to kind of into quarters. And you can see that 220 or 39% of the people who qualified are in that lowest quarter. And of that lowest quarter, 163 of them, or 28% of the whole, received the maximum benefit, which means that last year their income was under the $12,250. I'd like to just paint that picture a little bit for you, because we have people that come in and their annual income is under $10,000, and they won't go on food stamps because they don't want to rely on the government. They pay for Medicare out of that $10,000, which is $1,300, which brings their income down to about $8,000. They've got grandkids living with them. These are real people that I know the names of, that I help every year. And so the numbers are fine and they're great and they look pretty in the pie form, but these are real people and these are our community members. So this program allows them to stay in our community and to keep their heads held high and keep their home and be an influence to their kids and their grandkids and their neighbors and all of that. And so it's a very important program. It's one that I feel really strongly about. What brought this up, I'm not sure what brought this up, but it kind of turned into a forest fire, and I'm sorry about that. This was not something that the county was trying to hide in any way. This is something I brought the flyers out. I know to you, Denise, for your business. I know to the rec center. I think that, right, absolutely. And I think that there's so much to this program that trying to show all of the facets of it and all of the information is just really tough. And so I will be going to the Board of Commissioners and asking them to consider discounting, if not waiving, the landfill fee for these people, at least the ones that are getting the maximum. I surveyed counties throughout the state, and 21 of the counties responded saying yes, they had fees. Not every county has special fees. Some of them just have straight levied taxes. But the 21 that responded to me that said that yes, they did have fees, 14 of those, I'm sorry, 20, not 21, 14 of them said that their commissioners did waive the solid waste fee. One of them, to some degree, not all of them are 100%. Some of them are as low as 18%. Some of them are at 100%. Some are on a sliding scale. The only county that had information for me of a non-solid waste fee was Adams County. And because the commissioners don't, this is my understanding after talking to the treasurer there, because the commissioners don't feel like they have the authority to cancel another district's tax, the people in Adams County pay the fee, and then they go to the rec district and turn in a paper, and the rec district pays them the money back, refunds them the money, which is a really interesting concept. I don't know that it is the best way. I don't know that it is a good way. I don't know if it's anything that you even want to consider. I'm just trying to give you all the information out there. I did include a copy. I don't think I did include a copy. I got this late today. And so I will leave this with you. This is their form that they give out at Adams County. I don't feel one way or another. I am very pro-pool. I'm very pro-rec district. I just want to make sure that our poorest members in our community are being taken care of and can stay in their homes. And so that's why I think this was brought up by Megan, was that our concern for these people that we see annually. I mean, these 600 people come into our office and we help them. And if they don't come into our office, we go out to their houses and help them there. And so this is something that we are really we're concerned about these people, not that we're trying to be anti-rec district, anti-pool, anti-anything. So I am sorry if that's the impression that came across. It was not intended that way. I am thrilled that you have given me the opportunity to come out and speak to you about it, and I would take any questions.
Okay, I have one question and I don't really know how to ask that. The way we're currently operating, we were a fee-based,
Yes.
we're a fee-based entity. If we went to a bond, how would that affect this, or how would this affect that?
Any levies, any levy taxes are covered by this. So if you went to a bond, it would be covered by the program. You would still get your money. It's not that the taxing districts don't get their money. So this is not an exemption, which is what a tax shift is. All of the taxing districts still get all of the money that they budgeted. It's just that the money now comes from the general fund of the state rather than from the county constituents' pockets. So if my neighbors all around me are part of this program, it doesn't cost me any more money than it would have if they were paying their taxes themselves. The state is coming in and paying on their behalf.
Do you happen to know what rec district would be Adams?
I don't know, I apologize.
Because I'm wondering if there's, from what I understand, if we assess the fee on a levy rate, then we can refund, and that's why I'm wondering if that's how they can.
It's not on a levy rate. My understanding of it is that it's a flat fee, yes.
Our attorney said we can't do that, so. But I will
And
look,
that's-
right, and
yes.
so I will look and see what, yeah. Because that's the kind of thing with districts, they're all a little different.
Yes.
We didn't feel like you were, just so you know, I don't think any of us felt like you were anti anything. We were very grateful because none of us wanted to make a decision that would impact somebody to this extent. And without those numbers, I did know because we didn't talk, but without the numbers, there was no way to know
What the impact was.
what it was. And so we were grateful to have that information. And again, we didn't take that as you were anti us at all.
Good, I'm glad.
So in the last little bit here, have we had anybody lose a house to live in because they weren't able to apply or stuff?
There was one, not because they weren't able to apply. So there's a couple of things that have happened. And I'd just like to brag on some of our elected officials on one of them. A few years ago, a couple who were both disabled failed to sign up for it. They had signed up for it before. They got our postcards reminding them to do it. They got our phone calls. They just didn't make it in. And it was too late. The deadline is a Idaho code deadline, so there's not anything we can do about that. And so they went to the commissioners, and the commissioners felt that it was irresponsible to cancel the taxes to the taxing districts and to the other constituents who were paying that. And there were 4 elected officials at the county level who pulled out their pocketbooks and paid their taxes for them. And so that is the people that you have serving for you and with you. And I feel that the board members at every level in this community are compassionate like that and really care about the people that they serve and that they've been elected to serve. And I'm proud to be represented by them. The other situation was a longer ago. Connie Goins was the treasurer at the time and actually reminded Megan of the situation. So she's gone back and done the research. The lady was going to lose her home because the fees had not been paid. That was both rec district and the landfill fee. And it went all the way to the point where it was getting ready to be auctioned off, and a family member came and redeemed it. So she did not lose her house, but it was very close, and it was a family member that came in and paid it. So it has gotten close, but nobody has ever lost it because of this.
One of the things we've kind of kicked around is that we have a fundraiser for such entities, such people that we could pay out of. And to me, it would I think it ought to follow the same guidelines that you have from here that you just presented, that I'm probably not going to qualify to have my fees.
No, and there are people out there who qualify, they get $120 off, and maybe they don't need the break that some people do. It's really the people in that one quadrant that I'm most concerned about, and Megan as well. So, and if I might say so, if you have that fundraiser, please let me know, because I want to donate.
We haven't set anything up with that, but at least we've thought of that.
We've had a lot of inquiries from businesses, from people who don't live here even, and come here to work, who have asked that question, so.
I talked to Holly about, I think maybe it was like this size,
Yes, that's why I included that. That was kind of what we had as an idea.
to put it in the rec district help fund, putting this one into all of our tax
Tax bills
statements.
that are going out in
So
the
that way we can ensure that everybody knows and has a record. And so it is something they have to do every year.
It is something they have to do every year, yes. And so we send out the applications to them February 1st. They're due back by April 15th. If they aren't in by the beginning of April, late March, early April, we send out a postcard reminding them of it. A lot of them say, oh, I didn't even get it. And so at that point, we can get them signed up. If it isn't in by 10 days before, we start calling them personally and reminding them. And we do go out. We have people at the senior center help people fill them out. We also make home visits to go out and help them fill it out.
In this application, because I think someone on maybe Facebook said that it was very invasive to.
It is, because it wants to know your income and the sources of the income, and unfortunately, and your medical statements. And unfortunately, there have been people who have tried to get this program without qualifying correctly. And so the requirements have become more stringent. The state is paying taxes on people's behalf. And so because of that, they are able to ask whatever they want for the program. They also do an audit, and within 2 years, they usually find anything that was missing, and that happens. And then the people, if there's something that was missing, the people will be asked to pay that money back to the state.
So is that why you have people helping people?
That's one of the reasons.
Make sure.
Well, and you haven't, I should have brought the application. It's ridiculously detailed.
I would assume it's
It's a tax
similar to Medicaid, to those applications that I help people fill those out, and they are hard. They are time consuming, the documentation required, the information, it's
It is one page, it's 2 columns, but it's their money, and so they're concerned that they're getting it right, if not even frightened that they're getting it right. And I tell people I did it for 3 years and didn't know what I was doing. So even as an employee doing it, it's a lot to learn and a lot to know what to look for. And so that we do it with the people. If they come in and they've done it, that's fine. We still will audit it in our office. We send it to the state, and it gets audited twice more there. A lot of what we're looking for in our office is to make sure that we aren't missing any medical bills. If they don't have an insurance premium on there, we're going to call them and say, hey, are you paying insurance? Because we can deduct that from your income and get your income lower and qualify you for more. And so we're not just looking to see if someone cheated. In fact, that's not what we're looking for at all. We're looking to make sure that people aren't claiming more income than they should, that they're the deeded people in the house, that we don't have somebody that they're getting 100% of the exemption when it's due, things like that.
Well, I appreciate the empathy on your position, and I think we were trying to join in on that if we could.
Absolutely.
I don't want the rec district to push people out of their house.
No, and I don't think any of us thought that, and that's why it was brought up, was to make sure you can't know the ramifications if people don't speak up and say, hey, have you thought of this yet? And so I think it's important. And I appreciate the fact that you guys did take a step back. It wasn't the only reason you took a step back at that point, but say, hey, let's get more information about this before we proceed. And I truly appreciate that.
That we need to.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. So, do we have any more public input? There's nobody on the list, okay. So,
Jen, we already had the list. Did you have anything? Anybody? Okay. Want to make sure everybody had the application?
all right, so, if we have nothing else, I could stand for adjournment.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
I'm stepping down second, I'm stepping back up, there's no discussion, we're out of here.
Thank you.
Okay.
So here's all the papers. Thank you, Holly.
Yes, thank you.
That's funny.
Oh,